a 3.9 homework. Okay, will putting batteries in the freezer help to keep their charge? I've never tried this, but I've had some people try it and say they always do it. But anyway, will storing batteries make them last longer? So a company produces batteries, takes a random sample of 100 batteries from its warehouse, and then they randomly assign 50 of the batteries to be in the freezer and 50 to be stored at room temperature. And then at the end of 3 years, they do that. So first of all, can it be generalized to all batteries in the warehouse? Okay, yes. It was a random sample from all the batteries, therefore that yes, it can be generalized to all batteries in the warehouse. Okay, part B. Based on the study, is it reasonable to conclude that the storing of batteries in the freezer was the cause of the higher? Okay, so yes, there was a random assignment, okay, into the treatments, and therefore that yes, there is some cause and effect. Okay, in the next problem, they had a study, and it said that if you attend church service, then you will live longer. Okay, so they took a random sample of that many adults, and they measured many variables, not just whether they went to church or not, but it said churchgoers were more likely to be non-smokers, physically active, and their right weight. But even after those are taken into account, not attending a church service regularly still or more about 25% more likely to have died. Okay, what conclusions can we draw? So we think about it. It was a random sample of people from a population, so it can be applied to the population. But since the individuals were not randomly assigned a treatment, there can be no cause and effect. There's too many other confounding variables to conclude that going to church makes you live longer. Okay, next one here. Eating blueberries and strawberries might improve heart health. According to a long-term study of 93,600 women who volunteered to take part, those berries are high, so women who reported more of those berries eaten had significantly smaller, less risk of heart attack compared to the women who consumed least. What conclusions can we draw? Okay, so they were volunteers. So if they're volunteers, we can't apply the results to a whole population. We can only apply it to people that are like those volunteers. Also, the treatments were not randomly assigned, therefore we can have no cause and effect. There might have been an association, but we can't say that the berries caused the effect that it had. Okay, the next problem. In the 1960s, children at this institution for intellectually disabled people in Staten Island, New York, were deliberately infected with hepatitis. The researchers argued that, since we did this and we did this study, we then found a lot of vaccines that we could use to get rid of hepatitis. So the result was a good result, but the finding contributed to the development of effective vaccine. Okay, so despite these valuable results, why was it unethical? Okay, it's unethical because children should not be deliberately infected with hepatitis. No one should be made sick, regardless of the outcome. Okay, researchers and Facebook from Cornell, they selected almost 700,000 people that were on Facebook, and they gave them news feeds either that were more, without them knowing, showing either more positive things from their friends or from more negative things from their friends. They found the results that researchers found evidence that people who read emotionally negative postings were more likely to post negative postings, and those that read positive messages were more likely to post positive ones. It was criticized as being unethical. Why is it unethical? The unethical part was that there was no consent. People's Facebook pages were just changed and given a positive or a negative just as part of the study. People didn't agree to be part of the study. There was no consent to it, which is a little bit unethical. Okay, the next problem, can eating nuts during pregnancy help children avoid nut allergies? Researchers studied over 8,000 children who were born in the early 1990s and their mothers. So their mothers, they asked them, did they eat nuts during pregnancy, at least 5 times per week? Those people were significantly less likely to develop nut allergies for children. So why can't we conclude that eating nuts during pregnancy caused a reduction in nut allergies? Okay, so the treatments were not randomly assigned, so therefore there was no cause and effect. We can't say one caused the other. And part B, why would it be unethical? It might be unethical just because if we assign women to eat nuts or to not eat nuts, it could be detrimental to their health. So a little bit unethical, probably. Okay, for this problem, are people who report being cheerful and happy less likely to get sick than people who report being sad and angry? They say yes. According to a study, researchers exposed 193 healthy volunteers in this age group with a cold virus and recorded who got sick. The cheerful people had milder symptoms and when they did get sick. So in the study, is it appropriate to conclude that being happy and cheerful reduces and causes this cold, the less cold? So no. People are not randomly assigned to be either happy or sad. We're just kind of observing it. So there's no cause and effect. Part B, is it ethical? It depends. Do you think it's ethical to expose people deliberately to a cold virus? Now, it's just a cold virus, so it's probably not going to hurt you that bad. But is that ethical to do or not? It's a matter of opinion, I think. And the last problem, who can review? So it said that it require boards to review whether it's ethical or not, right? So government regulations require institution boards consist of at least 5 people, and they need at least 1 scientist, 1 non-scientist, 1 person from outside the institution, and most boards are larger than contain more than outsider. So why should review boards contain people who are not scientists? Okay, well, scientists might think differently about an ethical situation compared to the average person. So a lot of scientists might think, okay, well, the outcome is this, and it's worth doing. Whereas the average person might think, no, it's not worth doing, it's not ethical to do. So you get different opinions. Part B, do you think that 1 outside member is enough? How would you choose that member? For example, would you get a medical doctor, a religious leader, an activist for patients' rights? I think it would be good to have more than 1 outside person. Not all people think alike, and you want to get people of differing thoughts to help protect people in their ethics of the studies.